The reason why I wanted to talk about Monarch is because I believe it's just undervalued. The cards are not appreciated like they should be. Two, one. What's up, everybody? Thomas Barkowski. Welcome back to another episode of talking about the market, talking about flesh and blood. And man, LSS has just been dropping all this good information in the last couple days. Today's March 3rd, and we have this Dusk till Dawn summer set coming out. This will be the next set after Outsiders. This is a 10-card booster pack that returns to the conflict between light and shadow and sees the return to gaming tables of fan favorites Light Illusionist, Prism, and Shadow Runeblade, Chain, heroes whose predecessors have attained the LL status. Prism and Chain were two of the most played heroes in Flesh and Blood TCG, and they were phenomenal, that's why they're LL, and they're both from the Monarch expansion. So Dusk till Dawn is looking like it's going to be a Monarch 2.0, and I've been making a lot of content on Monarch lately. Let's go over to the product sheet. We have Outsiders coming out March 24th, and then we have the Dusk till Dawn officially on the Fab TCG website, and then we have this mystery standalone booster. So Dusk till Dawn will be our supplemental set. And I've been making a lot of videos lately because 2 weeks ago I made a video on Monarch with my unlimited rainbow foil Monarch collection binder, and I was just going over cards, how I felt that they were undervalued, underappreciated. Since then, we've had a buyout on Great Solana. You know, this was an $80, $90 card. Phantasmal Footsteps hasn't been touched. Carrion Husk was like an $80, $90 card, bought up to $170. Valiant Dynamos is where it normally is. Herald of Erudition has definitely been bought out lately, or its price has gone up. There's less on the market, only 6. Galaxy Black hasn't really moved. Lumina Go Boomina has definitely gone up. Now it's up to $120. Vestige of Soul was a $40 card that's almost doubled in price. No movement on Doomsday, no movement on Mark of the Beast. And then Eclipse was about 15, 17, 18 bucks 2 weeks ago, and now we're pushing $30 from the rainbow foil. And I haven't seen any movement in the Majestics. Rousey Ancients was always like 10, 11, 12 bucks. The boxes are still super cheap, the cases are cheap. Soul Shield hasn't gone up, Celestial Cataclysm hasn't gone up, Sonata hasn't gone up, Exude Confidence hasn't gone up, same thing with Nourishing Emptiness. But what I want to talk about is Shadow Puppetry is a phenomenal staple in Chain, $2 a piece. If you don't have them, pick them up because that card's definitely going to go up. And there's two reasons. A, we get Chain 2.0 and he's good at CC or Blitz. And then B, we get the LL Living Legend format, and then Chain gets to wreck everybody without bans. And I think he's going to be an absolute monster. So $2 a card for staple, 3 of, pick them up. Luminaris, you're going to need a Luminaris if you want to play Prism and LL. Pick it up, $1.85, too cheap, only need to buy one. So $2, $1 shipping. Herald of Erudition, not a Prism card, this is a Light Illusionist card. $1.90 a piece, like, come on. How many cards will they have to print before Light Illusionist will not run Herald of Erudition? It's going to have to be a lot of power prep cards. I don't think this card is going anywhere. For $2, $1 shipping. Pick yourself up a playset. The card is absolutely phenomenal. 5 dominate, draw 2 cards if it hits. It is disgusting. Lumina Go Boomina. If these light heroes are going to get support, we've already seen the Spirit of Irena with Dynasty give some Bolton support. We get some more support. These Luminas are not going to stay cheap. They have huge potential to go up. This is the main driver for Bolton. The only reason it's $1.44 is because everybody thinks Bolton's a joke. Have that mentality going into a tournament, play against a skilled pilot running Bolton, and then you're going to get Lumina Boomina your face off. Bolton, much better than people think. He's just not the top tier, but I don't think he's that far out of contention, and with a supplemental set, he's going to get boosted. I would be on the lookout for a Lumina Ascension. Merciful Retribution, 40-cent rare. It's a good card. Genesis $1.62. You ever played against a Prism and a Genesis turn 0, turn 1? It's a big feel bad because Genesis wins games, and the fact that it's $1.62 for one is stupid cheap. And if you don't have a playset, you need to pick them up. Either Prism 2.0 or Prism and LL. You're going to want to run Genesis because the card is absolutely broken. Phenomenal. Beacon of Victory, $1.50. Bolton's going to need that. Tear limb for limb. See that a little bit in Rhinar, you're gonna see that in Levia. $1.21, pick it up. Even if it's a bust, it's $1.21. Oh no, you spent $5 and it went down to $1, so you lost $1 overall. Who cares? You don't have a playset? Pick them up while they're cheap. These are all cheap. Bolton Blade, cheap. Phantasmaclasm, cheap. Spill Blood, super cheap. Man, if we ever get a viable Axe Warrior in the future who is actually like tier B, tier A, and is top 8ing or top 4 consistently, and they're competitive, man, Spill Blood is an underrated card. +2 dominate until end of turn. This card could be explosive in the future. Purely speculation. It might not be anything in the future, but man, 76 cents for a card. It's gonna cost you $3 to pick it up. Do it. Herald of Erudition's a rare. $1 a card. Like V for Vanguard's not a bad card. Arclight's Tentacle is not a bad card. Captain Calls is not a bad card if you ever plan on running Chain. They definitely ran Captain Calls before he got LL status. And Chain's going to have other new fun tools to use that he hasn't really been able to use because he's been LL for a while. And we have other Runeblade cards that he's going to get to experiment with. Ode to Wraith, a good card. Like Shadow of Ursa could be good. Tome of Divinity could be good. We've seen some, like Iris of Reality is not a good card. And if you're going to pick it up, you pick up the Cold Foil, and we're seeing people do some crazy Dromite builds with Iris of Reality. So it's like these bad cards can become good very quickly, especially when there's an entire supplemental set dedicated to those cards. And Vertex Assistant, not a bad card. Soul Reaping, absolutely busted. That's why it's a legendary chain specialization. If you had 3 of these in your deck, it'd be completely bananas. Variable, not a bad card. Ode, not a bad card. So it's like these are cheap, and those are rares. But those other Majestics are still super cheap. I think Phantasmal Footsteps is where it should be. $175. Carrion Husk is where it should be. $175. Soul Shield, $6, $7, $8, $9. I think that's still cheap. Celestial Cataclysm, $6, $7, $8, $9 is cheap. Sonata, we're going to see Sonata again. Like, the card's good. Yes, it can whiff, but the upside that Sonata has, like when it hits, even without paying resource into it, and you deal an arcane, you get to draw a card. It's just like, it's good. For $4, $5, $6, pick yourself up a playset. Thank me later. I think the Fable's still too cheap. Yes, the Fable is roughly a case price, and that's typically where we see these settle. But honestly, these case prices, $223, they're just too cheap. First edition 400 is too cheap. Fable 200. What's the Cold Foil? Cold Foil's like $650 right now. Let's see. People have been buying these. Let's see. 470, 460, 444. What's the cheapest on the market? $650 is the cheapest Cold Foil on the market. Like, that's going to incentivize people to open. 175 Footsteps is going to incentivize people to open. 170 Carrion Husk is going to incentivize people to open these boxes. We know the LGSs have these boxes. They've been sitting around for a while. People have been poo-pooing Monarch for the last year, last 18 months. Valiant Dynamo's $70 card. It's undervalued. Like, have you played against a Kasai and Blitz? Kasai will get 5 extra life from Valiant Dynamo and Blitz. That's how good this card is. Like, Herald of Erudition, $185. This is not an easy card to pull, and it's only in the first edition boxes. And it's a Light Illusionist card. It's not even Prism. So Light Illusionists are going to be able to play this to the end of days. And it's a super powerful card. It's not a joke card. So, like, that's good value. People are going to want the first edition stuff. Galaxy Black ever goes up, people want the first edition stuff. If Bolton's ever viable, I mean, the Bolton cult is legitimate. So, like, these even have room to go up, even though they've already gone up. Fetches of Soul, is kind of a poo-poo card. So, if I was an illusionist or a light hero, I would want a new piece of equipment. Something that would actually, would be more beneficial. But look, that's already doubled in price from $40 to $75. Like, Doomsdays could go up. What if Levia is actually viable? It's just like, it's crazy. And these legendaries, and like, I know Eclipse and Doomsday is the reason why a lot of people don't buy the cases. As if you pay $223 for a case and you get no legendary, or you get a $30 legendary, you're going to lose money. Especially when these other Majestics, in my opinion, are severely undervalued. You're looking for the Husk, you're looking for the Phantasmal Footsteps, you're looking for the Fable. But with Chain coming back, with Prism coming back, with Light and Dark getting more support, these cards should raise in value because they'll be more competitive and they'll become more of a player card. So I would personally recommend, if you do not have any of these cards and you might play Light or Shadow Hero in the future, pick yourself up a playset while these are still cheap. Because if they go up to $10, $15, $20 card, like they come Channel Lake Frigid, they're $15, $25. Like, that's gonna be a field bag when you need 3 of those. So I would pick them up while they're cheap. But that's just me, that's just my opinion. I'm not a financial expert, I'm just a Timmy in a basement. So do your research, only buy what you like. And you have to remember, these cards might not go up right away. And yes, there is a chance that the cards become cheaper. That's just the way it is when you're speculating. But in my opinion, I think these will go up over time. And if you don't have a play set,